Ashwin sir, shall I start?
Madam, Priyanka madam will start the session. Then after.
Ma'am, once again, Suganya ma'am. Okay. A very good evening to one and all. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. William Butler Yeats. With this profound thought in mind, I extend a warm welcome to day 2 of our faculty development program. As we embark on yet another day of intellectual exploration, let us continue to ignite curiosity, foster innovation, and embrace the transformative power of knowledge. Day 1 set the stage with thought provoking discussions and invaluable insights from eminent experts, enriching our understanding of emerging paradigms. Today, we look forward to delving deeper into cutting edge advancements, engaging in meaningful discourse, and broadening our perspectives on the ever evolving landscape of technology and academia. A heartfelt thank you to our distinguished speakers who delivered yesterday for graciously sharing their expertise, to all the participants for their unwavering enthusiasm and active participation. Your presence is what makes this program a truly enlightening experience. Let us seize this opportunity to learn, collaborate, and inspire one another. Wishing you all an insightful and rewarding day ahead. Thank you. Over to you, Walima.
A very good evening to one and all. I welcome you all for the Day 2 ATAL FDP on Future Ready AI, Emerging Technologies and their Societal Transformation. Today we have with us an eminent resource person, Dr. E. Sukanya. Now I request Professor Priyanka to introduce our resource person to the participants. Over to you, Priyanka ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Walima. It is our privilege to introduce Dr. E. Suganya, who is currently serving as an assistant professor in the Department of Information Technology at SSN College of Engineering, Chennai. With over 6 years of teaching experience and 3 years of research experience, Shri brings a wealth of knowledge to our session. Dr. E. Suganya holds a BTech in Information Technology from BSA Crescent Engineering College, an ME in Computer Science and Engineering from Anna University, and a PhD from Anna University in the specialized area of data analytics and optimization. Her research interests include data analytics, data mining, and optimization algorithms, and she has an impressive track record, having published more than 30 papers in reputed international and national journals and conferences. Notably, one of her research papers received the Best Paper Award at an IEEE International Conference. She is also a lifetime member of an IST Professional Society, further demonstrating her commitment to academic excellence and research. We are honored to have Dr. E. Suganya with us today, and we look forward to gaining valuable insights from her expertise on the topic ethical AI challenges in technology implementation. Welcome you, ma'am. Over to you, Dr. Suganya.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for the introduction. Once again, I welcome you all for this ATAL FTP program. It's an online FTP second day. So today we are going. Sir, am I audible, ma'am? Is everything is fine?
Yes, ma'am. We are able to see your screen. Plus, you're audible.
Oh yes, thank you. So today's topic is it's about little bit different than normal artificial intelligence and machine learning. We'll start with the topics from ethics. I think the ethics is one of the important and fundamental subject in every curriculum. We will include this ethics subjects. Why means as a human, once we born, when we are growing stage by stage, we are learning so many things. The main objective is that we are learning so many human values, how to respect other people's, then how you can mingle with a large group people. So what type of ethics you have to follow in your organization, in industry. There will be lot of things we will be studying, we will be learning in a day by day, day to day life. That's what every curriculum there will be taken on. It's the ethics will be, the professional ethics will be the one of the important the subject. While we are speaking, while we are in our day to day life also, we are using the word you should be ethical, be loyal and all. Okay, this is for human being ethics. But artificial intelligence means we are developing a machine. Okay, so based on the pre-trained data set, based on the pre-trained model, the machine will be doing certain things, and it can bring certain products or certain outcomes. So, how we are going to evaluate all these outcomes? Generally, we are using the certain parameters, F score, then accuracy, and all for measuring the our project outcome. It's 56% accuracy, 98% accuracy, 99% accuracy. This and all, we are algorithmically, we are just testing our model, how much the model will be efficient for particular set of data. But this is different perspective. While you are artificial intelligence, while you are developing a machine, or it may be a robotic, or it may be anything based on AI application, this machine will be definitely will produce certain outcome, but those outcomes are those functionalities, how it will be meeting the ethical values of industrial. That is very, very important. So today's topic is a very, very interesting one, because if you are seeing this diagram only, you will understand about uh, everybody is ready, wants to learn artificial intelligence. Everybody wants to be expert in artificial intelligence and machine learning. These are all the buzzwords of day-to-day life. But if anybody wants to talking about ethics, yeah, day by day, nowadays and all, there will be a lot of sessions, lot of things. Every AI development industries, they are concentrating more about how artificial intelligence will be working towards to ethics and all. But how many of us we are ready to implement all those ethical values in our artificial intelligence mission? How many of them knows what kind of ethics, what kind of principle we need to follow while we are developing any artificial intelligence based model or application? That is one of the very big question mark. Everybody loves artificial intelligence, but none of them will have any idea about how we are going to implement ethical guidance along with the artificial intelligence concept. That is very, very less number of people only will have the interest towards to ethics in AI. Then what is meant by ethics in AI? Na? It's a simple thing. For example, if you are developing application, so how we are going to check whether the application is any gender biased, or any country biased, or any region biased, any religion biased? We will never worry about all those things. We will develop a model. That model will become will produce certain outcome. So that outcome, we are just going to check whether how much accuracy it will be. So how much it will be deviated from the normal set of output. So how many of them us we are ready to taking the responsibility of the decision which is made by AI algorithm? So that is the very, very important fundamental one. If you are developing any artificial intelligence based machine model, anything, we need to implement mandatorily certain ethical principles. So we are going to discuss elaborately these concepts in today's session. Okay. So we all are very know very well international forum. It's a UNESCO. So UNESCO will formulated certain recommendations or certain guidelines how what kind of ethics we need to follow while we are developing AI based applications. that will called as a UNESCO recommendation on AI ethics. We are going to discuss all those concepts one by one. Um, the fundamental thing that the international bodies, they have formulated certain legislations, which is like regulations and policies, which includes the universal values, which means everything, all kinds of ethical guidance, human values, then nature ethics. So all those things will be considered. They have followed a framework. So once the framework will be developed, then they are going for the action mode. So they guide actions of individuals, groups, communities, and companies. So after they are developing artificial intelligence based applications, in the throughout the artificial intelligence life cycle starts from the scratch to the deployment, we have to ensure that each and every stages our application should meet out those AI ethical principles. So the main objective of this ensure is that we need to protect, promote, and respect the fundamental human rights. Then our AI-based application should learn what are the fundamental human rights they are following in the current world. So what is mean by freedom? How the application has to be distinguished? What is mean by human dignity and equality? So everything we need to develop our train our machine not only based on algorithm accuracy based. These kind of fundamental ethical properties also should be included in our AI based algorithms. That not only including, it's not only a part. We have to check, we have to test each and every stage whether our AI based algorithm throughout the entire life cycles they are following the AI ethical principle. So, who are the peoples they are going to address those ethical issues in our artificial intelligence based system? Na? The first thing is the stakeholders. Then, who is going to get benefits from those artificial intelligence based applications? These are the two main fundamental players are involved. So, these two persons will get more valuable benefits if you are using AI ethics in our throughout life cycle of the AI development model. Then there will be a lot of issues are there. There will be so many guidelines. There will be recommend. These are the fundamental. By using this fundamental guidelines, there will be a lot of sub layers of the AI ethics principles are developed. We are going to discuss about all those principles and values in one by one. The first thing. So while you are following any ethical principles you are going to apply in your AI-based model, so the model will be considered these four dimensionality only. That is called as the values of AI ethics. So while you are implementing those AI ethics principle, then automatically the machine will be trained up for where we can apply the basic. For example, if you are developing a robotics or if you're developing some kind of autonomous system now, so it can understand what is mean by respect, how it can the system can protect the people, how it can protect fundamental human rights, then what is in the human dignity. So all those things we need to train those model. Then the second dimension is that if you are developing any AI based application, then it should learn about what is in the ecosystem, how we can enriching our environment. So what kind of things we need to do, what kind of things. Hey, one second.
Hello, ma'am. We are not able to hear you. Suganya, ma'am. Dr. Suganya.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, yeah. Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, now we can hear you,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes. Sorry, ma'am. One small interruption. Yeah. What kind of environmental and ecosystem flourishing we have to follow based on that ethical principles? Also, we have to train our AI based model. The third one will be the how our model can able to relate diversity of our culture. If, for example, if I'm developing a model, that model can be reacted in one particular region, it can produce some other data. If it's going for another region, if it is a diverse environment, how it can adapt all those diverse environment, that is fundamental thing. After that, we have to include what is meant by peace, what is meant by justice, how this peace and justice will give benefits for our society. So all those value, if you are implementing ethics in AI, indirectly we are ensure that all these types of values should be addressed in our ethical principles. So this is the main principle as suggested by the UNESCO. So while you are developing any AI based model, it should be starts from no harm. Then what is the data protection? Because while you are taking it as any AI based application, the main fundamental asset is called data. So how we are going to deal with the data in privacy manner? What is the data protection? So that is with the help of right to privacy, we can teach data protection algorithm, data protection techniques to our model. Then safe and security. So how the model can able to do authentication, authorization, all those things. Then what kind of fairness algorithm we need to include, how we are avoiding discrimination between, for example, gender biased, age biased, religion biased. Then the fundamental thing, the transparency and explainability is one of the fundamental right. If you are developing AI based any application, it should be not only transparent for developers, it should be transparent for stakeholders and the users, those who are going to get benefit from this application. For the users also, it should be very transparent. Then only they can understand that how each and every layer we will be doing the functionality, each and every layer, how they are following ethical standards, principles and all. Then the sustainability, our application can able to sustain in a different environment, accountability, responsibility, awareness. So all those things, these are the fundamental principles we need to follow in AI and ethics. Why AI is fairness? This is a prescribed definition will be given by UNESCO. The actors involved in artificial intelligence, while you are developing AI based machines, we know that there will be different role will be played by different actors, different objects. So the actors should make all reasonable efforts to minimize and avoid two fundamental. One is the reinforcing, another one will be the perpetuating discriminatory or biased based application. The outcome throughout the life cycle of the AI system to ensure only the fairness. So the AI fairness, it's nothing but this is a law. The main objective of the law is to minimize the discrimination and bias. So this fundamental principle we need to follow. So what are the significance of the factors are there in AI fairness? Na? So while you're developing AI fairness, we'll have a 5 different types of fairness is there. It should have a fair pay, fair contract, fair management, fair condition, and fair representation. So fair pay means if you are developing any application for any employees or daily wages, na, so if you are allotting certain salary for them, so that payment value should be follow certain government rules standards. So if you are working 8 hours, na, the government will have the basic rules. Okay, if an employee is working for 8 hours, they should get minimum this salary. Na? So all those principles can be included in fair pay. Then contract. If you are developing any AI-based application, contract-oriented things, na, then you should follow all the judiciary law points, law value should be included in the contract. Then fair conditions, fair representation. If your model is going to represent something, it's going to represent some unique values. No? That representation should not be follow these things. It should not be based on race biased, skin color biased, national origin biased, gender biased, disability biased, religion biased, age biased. So while you are including fairness in AI ethical standards, no? So we should avoid all this discriminative. So non-discriminative law in AI-based human resource management, they are following these fundamental concepts. So while you are preparing any fair work report, this report should be framed free from these main 7 factors. It should not be follow any race, skin color, national, gender, disability, religion, age. So this is the main significance why we need to follow AI fairness. Then you are designed a model which includes AI ethics, AI fairness, and all. How we are going to assess those model whether they are following all those standards, all those ethical principles in their final outcome or final end product. For that, we will have 3 different modules. The first one will be the detecting and characterizing in social biases in LLM model. So if you are developing any artificial intelligence based applications, the LLM will be the large language model will be one of the fundamental layer, fundamental component. So the first thing we have to ensure that our LLM model, it should not be biased in any gender biased. It has to discriminate in generated text from gender perspective. Then the representative of our model should not be gender biased, culture biased, and all. Then what kind of sources of biases is there in an AI system? Na? While how our AI system will be producing biased outcome, na? It may be the data which we are training to the AI model, it's a bias. For example, if I'm training a model, it's not the model is having a data, everything which is correlated with gender bias or religious based bias, na? Then automatically our algorithm will be working on based the things, it can produce the outcome. So that the trained data, it should not be based on any biased values. Then algorithm which we are developing certain algorithm, those algorithms also has to be working in very fairness way. It should not based on any biased one. Then the deployment, where we are deploying our application, who is going to use our application, all those peoples also should be fundamentally free from the basic AI based biases. So if you are developing AI system without these AI fairness or AI ethical guidance, na, what kind of risk factors are involved? Na? It's very harm to societal cohesion. It's there will be a gender-based violence will be increasing based on our application. Then homogenization of vulnerable populations, that is one of the important thing. So these are all the 3 main risk factors is included while you are developing any AI based application without these ethical standards. Then while you're understanding these 2 pictures, can anyone say what is the difference is there? This is basically based on how diversity and stereotyping will be protected in two different machine learning model. One will be the LLM based, another one will be the llama based. So once you observe clearly these two things, the first one will have the four main region: man, woman, boy, girl. The second one, they have included the region also: global south, woman and girl; global south, man and boy; global north, woman and girl; global north, man and boy. So here, the first one will be it will be just depicting that what is what are the works will be done by human, women, what is the basic characteristics of boy. So girl means these are all the properties of their. They're just discriminating between those there only the attributes of that particular model. While you are seeing the second one, they have included those attributes along with their region. So region wise, for example, the region wise, the man can do all these works in this particular region. So this particular region, the child will be working, doing these certain things. So these are all the two different model, which is clearly discriminating diversity and stereotyping of girl, women, man, boy, along with their regions. So while you are developing any AI-based application, we should not include any kind of model which should be on gender biased or region biased. That is the one main thing we have to follow. Uh, the one more, yeah. The next one will be there. We are going to discuss about the basic framework which you are following ethical reflection in AI-based model. So we said that we are keep on saying that we have to include AI in ethics in our AI-based application development starts from the scratch to deployment. Throughout our life cycle, we have to follow the ethical standards and everything. So where we need to embed, how we need to embed AI ethics in AI-based model. That is the one of the fundamental thing. It is called embed critical thinking and ethical reflection. So while we are developing an AI-based model, the application how it will be handling the critical situation. So for that, we have to embed critical thinking ideas and we need to embed basic ethical reflections. These two things are going to act as a heart of the artificial intelligence during the development and deployment stage also. So this is having 6 different parameters is there. While you are embedding critical thinking and ethical reflection at the heart of the artificial intelligence, we have to include those standards from each and every level of the development of the AI-based application. First thing, while you're developing any application, we should know what is our objective of the application. So you have to include, along with those objectives, you have to include the basic AI fairness, justice, equality, privacy. After that, we have to include assign certain goal. So how it will be handling the demographic based problems. So how the application outcome is also follow the ethical standards. Whether the outcome of the application it should be having a quantifiable fairness, everything we have to check. Then risk and impact. While you are included all those things, what kind of risk we are following, what is the impact this particular framework is going to create on stakeholders, users, everything. Then how we are going to assess those impacts, because certain things will be creating a positive, negative impacts. how these negative impacts will be considering ethical concerns. So what kind of mitigation strategies are there if there is any negative impacts? So all those things we are going to discuss in this things. Then the next one will be the fairness mission. So how the algorithm we are going to detect, how we are going to train the fairness of our algorithm. The last one will be the testing, validating, and improve. So when it's a testing, it's called as a fairness testing. So we are going to test based on certain quantitative and qualitative measures. Then for each and every iteration we have to check, we have to test the based on critical thinking and ethical reflection. Then wherever if we are observing biased everything in it, we have to reiterate and improve our model. That is the fundamental objective of this fair minds framework. Okay, the main objective of this framework is to inculcate embracing the ethical reflections in artificial intelligence. Now we are going to discuss about certain applications, how they are following ethical standards in fairness assessment in their perspective. The first one will be the TEC, that is called Telecommunication Engineering Center. They are following certain standards for fairness assessment and rating of the AI system. So the main scope of their implementation of AI and ethics, it's nothing but we have to adopt our standards and essential requirements of the stakeholders, along with how this machine can able to support to handle the technical issues along with ethical standards. So in this fairness assessment method, so we have to protect the attribute selection process. And while we are developing, it's a telecommunication, there will be a lot of group of peoples are involving. So how we are going to discriminate privileged and then unprivileged groupers for our particular TEC. Then, based on this assessment, how we are going to identify what are all the outcomes will be going to give benefits to the model as well as end users. Everything will be included here. So while we are doing any assessment, we are always following certain metrics. So in this metrics, there will be 4 types of metrics we are following. The first one will be the group fairness metrics for classification, and then individual fairness metrics for classification, then counterfactual fairness, then how we are going to apply multi-group fairness for matching and ranking. So these are the fundamental principles we need to follow in a telecommunication engineering center for applying AI in ethics. So the next one, how IBM organization or industry, they are applying AI for fairness by using 360 toolkit. So they are following nearly 77 fairness metrics to measure their models biased. So their main objective is to promote a deeper understanding of fairness metrics and mitigation technique, and to enable an open common platform for fairness researchers and industry participants to share their and benchmark their algorithm, and to facilitate the transition of fairness research algorithm for use in industrial settings. So the main objective of this IBM AI fairness is that it's under the process of research. So they clearly said that, so they are doing a lot of research to mitigate bias in their algorithm for AI based machine. Okay, so there will be n number of algorithms they have used here. There will be 3 main categories of algorithms are there: pre-processing algorithm, which is going to use to mitigate the bias in training data set, in processing algorithm, which is going to mitigate bias in classifiers, then post processing algorithm, they are trying to mitigate bias in predictions. So they classified in three different things. So pre-processing, in-processing, and post-processing. While you observe these things, then you will understand how keen they are developing their models, AI-based models. How clearly they are defined that our model should not be unbiased in any of the stage. That's what they are not only checking the AI fairness either at the beginning or the end, they are checking the AI fairness throughout the process, throughout the life cycle. They classified into three main things. So that the pre-processing, they will be having four main techniques: reweighting, disparate impact removal, optimized pre-processing, then learning fair representations. Then in processing, there will be three main techniques: advisable debiasing, prejudice remover, then meta-fair classifier. Then post-processing, they'll have three main things: rejection option classification, which changes the prediction from classified to make more fair. Then calibrated equalized odds, which helps to optimize over calibrated clarifiers, scores output that lead to fair outputs, then equalized odds. Okay, so these are all the certain algorithms the IBM organization will be following to mitigate the bias in their algorithms. So while you're developing any biased mitigation algorithms, they will have a certain questions. This algorithm has to answer for all those questions, whether the training data set has the data sheet or data state, whether the data set, where the data set and model checked for biases or not. Any bias mitigation algorithms they followed, the important one or the algorithm output is either it's explainable or interpretable. Because if we are developing any algorithm, the algorithm outcome, two main persons are involved: stakeholders as well as the benefit as users. So these two main actors should understand what is the outcome of an algorithm. Either that we can with the help of explainable A, we can implement. And then the second one will be the data interpretation. So these are all the fundamental questions we have to answer. We have to ensure whether our techniques we can able to produce exact answer for these questions. Now, then our model can we try to avoid certain ethical biases. The next one will be the Google Fairness Metrics for evaluation AI model performance. The Google will have two main vertices. One is the data bias metrics. Another one will be the model bias metrics. In this data bias metrics, they will be only concentrate on what is the population size. In this population, what is the difference in positive proportion, what kind of true labels are added with the data, all those things involved. Well, in a model biased, we are going to discuss about how this algorithm will accurately following those bias, how it will be accurately identifying. Then what is mean by what the sensitivity, specificity, recall, F score. So all those measures they are going to consider not only a model performance, they were also included the fairness properties also. The next one we are going to discuss about how Microsoft Fairness Learn algorithm are working. This is the Microsoft has developed an open source toolkit. The toolkit will support their AI based system, how it can follow the ethical AI standards in their applications. So their main objective is that how the prioritizing fairness in AI system related to social technical challenges, then how the navigating trade-off between fairness and model performance. So these things they are categorized under three main categories: interactive visualization chatbot dashboard, fairness metrics, and unfairness mitigation algorithm. So interactive visualization dashboard. So this dashboard will help our facilitators like stakeholder or users, any facilitators, those who are going to get benefits from the application. They can add the socio-technical context. They can measure the model. They can construct what is the reliability, what kind of reliability applications will be used, what kind of validity principles will be used. In a fairness metric, they have added certain algorithms that is called demographic parity, equalized odds, equalized opportunity. They have included the fourth, fifth rules. So these are all the metrics they have included. Last one will be the unfairness mitigation algorithms. So they have included exponential gradient algorithm, grid search algorithm, threshold optimization algorithm, correlation remover, advisable fairness classifier, advisory fairness regressor. These type of algorithms they are used to remove or to understand unfairness mitigation property. These are all the fundamental open source toolkit will be followed in a Microsoft. The next one will be concentrating on metafacet fairness. We know that the metafacet is one of the important applications. So in those applications, how they are maintained their fairness. So it will be starts from task formulation, selection of annotators, platform and infrastructure choices. So how we are applying the dataset analysis, how the datasets will be released and maintained. So the facet cloud worksheet will cover all the 5 different parameters should have to follow the ethical standards. So these are all the certain things different organizations will be followed, but overall general fairness will be ensure three main categories. We have to include diverse data sets while we are going for training a model. Then it should be regular audit. We need to follow, continuously monitor and evaluate AI systems to avoid biases. The human oversight, we have to combine AI efficiency with human judgment to make final decisions. We should not follow any monotonous. We should always confirm the human decision along with the machine model decision. Then we have to conclude with one final decision. So the cognitive bias is one of the important bias we need to address while we are developing any AI-based application. So the cognitive bias mainly categorized under three main categories. It's a confirmation bias, availability bias, and egocentric bias. Confirmation bias means we are developing a model. That model is, it is always following certain pre-existing beliefs or values. So if those pre-existing beliefs or values we are not evaluated whether those beliefs and values will get any benefits to the end user or not. So this will indirectly affect people and it can affect the entire community or system, those who are using this particular application. The second one will be the availability bias. a mental shortcut that relies on immediate example. It's very, very important thing. Availability bias means during the training of our session, training of our model, AI-based model, we are not do the detailed research on a available data set. So what are the data sets or what are the things are available based on that we are doing training of our model. So obviously we can expect texting accuracy is also based on the model training. So if you are doing training with any data set, you have to ensure that the data set should have a data with all dimensions whether the particular application is going to work. It should not be focused on single region, or it should not be focused on one particular module. For example, if you are going to develop the application, there is it's a gender bias. Now how it will become a gender bias? We are training a model based on the data set is a gender bias, so obviously the application is also giving output, it's based on gender bias only. Then the egocentric, so misinterpretation of subjective possibilities. So while you're developing any application, it should not for meant to be a particular person or particular group of people. So we should not misinterpretation of any subjective to this particular model. So while we are combining confirmation bias, available bias, the egocentric bias, it will be considered as a cognitive bias. So if you are developing any AI-based application, this cognitive bias is the most fundamental one. We have to ensure this. So the UNESCO recommendation on AI ethics, what kind of area of policy we have to consider as action? No? So these are all the areas we need to concentrate. First thing, ethical impact assessment, data policy, education and research. Then these ethical standards should have to follow what is the mean by gender biased, culture biased, how we are developing application. It should be cooperation for international level. Then the what kind of communication and information should be used. Then how this application will be following economy principle, labor laws. Then how this our application AI policy will be designed based upon health and social well-being. So while you're developing any AI-based applications, these kind of scope or these kind of factors you have to include it for policy making process in AI ethics. So these are all the things which is related to what is mean by AI ethics, what kind of assessment model is there, what has the UNESCO suggested, how Microsoft will be following AI ethics, how Google will be following, how Meta organization will be following the ethical standards in their applications. Then finally, what kind of areas this policy will we have to apply, we need to apply. All those things we consider as a scope of the policy making, everything which is recommended by UNESCO. So these are all the things which is related to AI in ethics. How we are going to apply ethical standards in AI model with the help of certain policy making strategies. So along with this concept, we are going to discuss about certain interesting fundamental concepts which is related to AI, that is called Gen AI in quantum computing. So what is mean by Gen AI? So Gen AI means generative artificial intelligence, which is a type of artificial intelligence that can able to create a content in the form of text, image, music, audios, and videos. This is AI model will follow the learning pattern and identify the relationship in the data set of existing content, and based on the learning pattern, it can generate the new output. So while seeing this diagram, you will understand that how this sophisticated copycat with creating a twist or a stochastic parrot. So we have just developed a machine. So the machine can able to create their own images. So each and every images will have some meaningful insights. So that we are going to discuss about elaborately how this Gen AI will be works. So generative AI, it's nothing but it's a classes of algorithm. It's a group. It's referred to class of algorithm and models. They are designed to generate a new content which is similar to the existing one, but not exactly identical with the existing one. So one of the most popular generative AI model is based on deep learning. Particularly, it's using the architecture. It's like called GAN. It's called as Generative Adversarial Network or Variational Autoencoder. These are all the two main popular AI-based models for generative AI. Another one will be the GAN. Another one will be the Variational Autoencoder. So now we are going to discuss about how this generative AI will be working. They're having the three main modules: training, sorry, the architecture, and training process. The first one will be the training data. So we need to train our model with lot of data on different topics, various topics. It's available in all over the world. Then we have to create a own generalized generative advisable network, which consisting of generally two neural network. The one will be the generator, another will be the discriminator. The third one will be the training process. The generator will start with random noise and creates a synthesized third data. The discriminator is trained to differentiate between the real and generated data. So generator is trying to improve the ability to produce the data which have the less discrimination. Then advisory training is a process continuously, iteratively with the generator and the discriminator will be trained to improve their capabilities over a time for generating a new data. So these are all the fundamental steps how the Gen AI will be working. So the next one, the very close related to Gen AI, it's a LLM model. It's called as a large language model. It's a type of AI model. The last class, recently we discussed about AI model, AI ethics. So this is one of the AI based model. So along with the large language model, we have to include certain ethical standards also during the training process. That has been trained to vast amount of data, which helps to understand and generate the human-like languages. Few of the most eminent LLM based application is GPT. I think we all are using nowadays. It's a most important buzzword. Generative pre-trained transformer series and Chat GPT, Google Bard, Anthropic Cloud 2, and XA Grok. So these are all the applications they are developed based on generative artificial neural network and LLM based application. So while you are considering these type of applications, this application will have a certain modules. The first thing will be the architecture of the algorithm. It's based on transfer model. This is proven to be effective for NLP tasks that we already known very well. Natural language processing. The transformer model only will create a huge revolution, drastic differences for various applications. Then attention mechanism. So paying attention to the different types of inputs, parts of inputs, pre-training and fine-tuning, corpora for pre-training and domain for fine-tuning thing. Tokenization is involved. Layers and parameters, layers of transformers with parameters and inference. At last, it's going to create a new word prediction. The last characteristics of this LLM model is adaptability. It's called various natural language understanding, translation, question answer, summary can produce without a need to change the architecture. By developing any LLM based applications, it is going to adapt various languages now. So we can do this languages changes without changing the fundamental architecture. That is one of the key point of the LLM. Then these are all the icebreaker why we need generative AI. If I take it as after ChatGPT arrives, the US has the highest number, 14.82 percentage of users are used, and followed by Indians, 8.18 percentage of people are using. The quarter of companies are saved roughly nearly $50,000 to $70,000 using ChatGPT, which helps to writing a story, build in passing an exam, then with prompts everywhere. If you are taking as a futuristics of this generative AI network, by 2026, the generative design AI will automate 60% of the design effort for new website and mobile application. So those who are interested in web programming and developing mobile applications, so for them, the Gen AI is going to support in huge enormous way. And by 2016, over 100 million humans will engage as robo colleagues to contribute their work. So by using this, all those things, we have to consider bias, copyright, jobs, misinformation, all those impacts also we need to consider that we discussed earlier. Then exploring the landscape of Gen AI. The first one will be the artistic horizon. AI generated art, which wants a couple of prizes. Then there will be a lot of competitions, documentary based movies, normal movies. There will be in nowadays there will be the AI based generated videos, audios, AI based generated movies are also taking part. Okay. Then it's one of the interesting thing. If there is an artist is called Kate Haring, he just created an artwork, but it's unfinished work. So by 2021, with the help of AI, so the certain artistic group they have tried to complete those unfinished work into the finished one. Then AI is as a revolutionary in melodic marvels also. Everyone will know that Beethoven symphony. So one symphony is a famous symphony. It's an unfinished one. With the help of AI, we are trying to finish those Beethoven symphony. And literally landscape, literally folks using Gen AI, which help for collaborating and interactive fictions. Then the AI can be one of the important frontiers which involved in healthcare sector, finance sector, manufacturing sectors, and insurance sector. So AI will be used in these things. For example, take it as a healthcare. Um, Previously, earlier, they have used it to identification of disease. What is the root cause of this particular disease and all? Now, they are step by step, they are improvising. With the help of this Gen AI, not only we can able to do identification of disease, we are trying to identify the drug which is suitable for this disease, which can help you the drug recommendations for any particular health issues. And this generative advisorable networks, which is used to monitor the entire healthcare sectors in a protective way. And finance also, which is used for compliance, customer approach, risk assessment, customer relationship management in all dimensions will be used. In manufacturing science sectors, I think nowadays it's one of the important buzzword, digital twin. So, which help you to create a better product in better quality. So that is a digital twin is one of the important. They're playing important role in manufacturing sectors. Then supply chain optimization, question answer session through imaging. Then insurance also they have used AI-based generative AI for alternative models for automation process. Everything they have used. Then automotive autonomous. So AI, generative AI-based applications will be involved in driving assistance. It's one of the important thing we nowadays we are just uh, we are using Google Map, which is one of the driving assistant, which helps to give the proper route path. So the main objective is required components and intelligent solution to improve the rider experience in car. So implement AI-based vehicle perception solution for ultimate driving experience. Not only which is helping for assisting to find out the better route. If you are developing any new model of the car, na, to wants to improve your car quality, vehicle quality, to wants to improve the customer satisfactions experience, na, this driving assistance will be working. Then vehicle cyber security. Secured, connected, and autonomous car and other vehicles with intelligent cyber security will guarantee your safety and hack-proof mechanism. Then vision system. The vision system for self-driving car, which helps to integrate the vision sensing and processing in your vehicle, which the help of computer vision is possible. And self-driving car. So the self-driving car will help to minimizing the manufacturing. The self-driving cars and vehicles will increasing the efficiency and effectiveness of the operations. We are going to integrate them in your business for greater efficiency, which leverage the power of artificial intelligence for complex tasks. Then, what are the velocity of the outcome is there for the Gen AI? It's rapid iteration. So, with the help of Gen AI, which helps to accelerate the creative process by enabling rapid iteration and experimentation. Real-time generation. So imagine witnessing the birth of art, music, literature, all with real-time generation. So the Gen AI improves the creators to generate the content instantaneously. So I think nowadays the AI-based music generation will be the most popular application. Um, Recently, if you are seeing the Twitter or any other social media network, this AI-based model will generate music similar like AR Rahman, similar like Raja. So these systems, they are not competitive for them. They are going to facilitate them to improve their musical tune quality. Then automated mode to innovation, the generative AI serves as a catalyst for automated innovation where the algorithms continuously generate a new and novel content without human intervention. Then explosive creativity. So the velocity of the outcome in generative AI is it's marked by an explosion of creativity where the ideas flows freely, boundaries are constantly pushed. An unprecedented scale. The generative AI operates on a scale that transcends the human capabilities. Generating content at a magnitude and complexity this will be impossible for individuals to achieve alone. Now we are going to discuss about what kind of democratization of technology will be used in Gen AI. The first thing will be it should be accessible for all. The generative AI platform and tools become increasingly accessible, which helps allows creators, artists, and enthusiasts of all skills levels to experiment and engage with their technology. So first one will be that it should be accessible from all. Empowering creativity, whether it's generating artwork or music or any other craft, Gen AI provides a canvas for self-expression and allowing the creators to bring their ideas in unimaginable. Cultural exchange and diversity. Through online communities, forum, and collaborative platform, so we can develop a project, we can develop an outcome or end product. It should not be on cultural bias. So different region peoples are working to mitigate the diversity and cultural problems. The next one will be innovation at the grassroots. From citizen scientists conducting research to artists using AI to address the social issues. So that will be helping. Democratized AI enables bottom-up innovation and which helps to solve the problems at the grassroots level. The next one will be the ethical consideration and responsibility. The democratized AI platform must prioritize transparency, accountability, and ethical guidance to mitigate the potential risks such as bias, misuse, and unintended consequences. Now we are going to do a quick few fire examples of based on AI: art generation, music composition, text generation, image manipulation. So the art generation, the AI generated portraits reassembling famous historical figures. The melodies composed by AI algorithm in different genres like classical, jazz, electronic musics. Harmonies generated based on moods. Yeah, one of the fundamental that there will be interesting application is developed based on AI. It's called as a music recommendation system based on your emotions. So if you are seeing this application, so the user interface part will be observe your face expression. Then with the help of AI and machine learning model, which identify the exact expression in your face, then those output will be the input for tune selection. So based on your mood, it will be playing the certain music. If you are in a happy mood, in your playlist, if you are having certain segregation, happy, sad, mixed, some kind of all six emotions, no? Based on that, it will play a music. The text generation, AI generated short stories or poems on various themes, which is it's very well known. Then image manipulation, photorealistic image editing, changing the facial expression, background, style, morphing the images. So these are all the different applications which related with AI. So in addition to that, the AI will be used in game design. So most of the non-player characteristics games will be developed with the help of this generative AI network, which gives you the realistic behavior and dialects. Then with the help of this AI based application, we can generate applications. The students can also participate to draw a map, to solve puzzles, everything. Then the fashion design, yeah, AI generated clothing design based on our preferences or fashion trends. It's one of the prominent applications. If you take it as Amazon, Mizo, Flipkart, so all those things in fashion category, they are following all those things. Then the data visualization, AI generated visualization of complex data sets. 3D visualization of scientific simulation is also used. In language translation and generation, so real-time translation of text or speech between multiple languages. Then AI, which helps you to generate the subtitles, captions for your videos in different languages. Chatbots are virtual assistants capable of engaging in a natural language conversation and providing you with the personalized responses. These are also a quick example which is related to the Gen AI. Now, we are going to discuss about how the Gen AI will be used in crossing boundaries in interdisciplinary. Nowadays, the research will be going towards to interdisciplinary area. So, we are going to do the fusion between art and technology. So, Gen AI merges the art and technology, allowing the artists to leverage the algorithm to create innovative artworks. Then medical and data science integration. Medicine and data science integration is one of the beautiful integration. The Gen AI facilitates the analysis of medical data and enabling the healthcare professional to identify the patterns and predict the exact medicine for particular disease. So collaboration between the medical researchers and data scientists leads to the development of AI-driven diagnostic tools and personalized treatment plan. So personalization is very, very important. It's there, it's needed in the medical industry. Previously, before healthcare 5.1, we are having everything. If you are having headache, if you are having body pain, leg pain, anything, we'll have one medicine, Dolo 650. So it's a generalized medicine for fever, whether it's working or not, we will take those medicine. So after the evaluation of the healthcare 5.0 and the technological evaluation AI based model Gen AI, so the personalized treatment plans it will be developed. This is going to change drastically in the medicine industry. For example, in our consider this in our home, two different people will have the diabetic, but those two persons will have taken as a two different drugs because the person one how prolonged they are having diabetic, what is its diabetes, the insulin level, what is the sugar level, then what is this 6 months, how this level will be based on that the model will be giving some drug. The second thing, their weight, the BMI level, the sugar level based on that, it will give another different drug. So now nowadays, the one medicine is common for this particular disease will be changed. To take it as any disease, the personalization played a vital role. Then music and machine learning harmony. So generative AI intersects with music production, which will empowering the musicians to explore the new composition and styles. Then fashion designing is going to add with computational creativity. It is a very, very interesting term. The Gen AI revolutionized fashion design by enabling the designers to generate innovative cloth designs and patterns. Collaboration between the fashion designer and computer scientists leads to development of AI fashion design platform with the help of virtual fitting rooms. So now take it as across all the streams, the particular stream expert has to have a collaborate with computer scientists. So nowadays, in every domain, the computer scientist, the person is involved. So if you are taking as any domain, the AI model will be going to do a predominant role. They're going to change. They're going to create so many revolutions. All the stakeholders involving in this publication, in that particular application, to get the benefits. The another one will be the environmental sciences along with simulation modeling. It's one of the quite interesting and much needed one for this current situation, because nowadays the weather changes drastically. It's changes. The weather graph inclination will be drastical. Today it will be sunny. Tomorrow it will be severe cold. Today morning also in Chennai we had a mist. It's a complete foggy situation is there. Today we experienced that. So Gen AI aids environmental scientists in simulating the complex ecological system and predicting the environmental changes. Then AI model will be used in agriculture sector also with the help of virtual reality innovation. So AI, augmented reality, virtual reality, it's a different era. It's hard. If you take it about, if you want to talk about AR, VR, it will take another 1 hour. So how the Gen AI transform the architectural design by enabling the architects to generate and explore the complex building designs. And education in NLP. I think most of people are using Gen AI enhances the educational experience by providing personalized tutoring and adaptive learning platform. And entertainment and robotics signage. Gen AI intersects with the entertainment industries, leading to the creation of lifelike virtual characters and interactive storytelling experience for kids and all. So, the Gen AI involved in everywhere: art studio, music lab, storytellers corner, design workshop, code playground, community hub, personal technology. All those things will be used. Future is creative. So now so far we discussed about how currently generative advisorable network will be used along with AI in different domains. Now we are going to discuss about what is the future of creativity. First one will be the augmenting the human creativity. So Gen AI tools can create psychological researchers and practitioners can create a novel application that push the boundary of creativity and democratizing creativity. Gen AI democratized the creativity by making it more accessible to broader audience. Personalized content creation. With the help of Gen AI, personalized content creation become more accessible. Then AI can analyze user preferences and behaviors to generate the tailor-made content. Cross-disciplinary platform. Gen AI encourages cross-disciplinary platform for collaboration and innovation, exploring new frontiers. So as Gen AI continues to evaluate, it's open up new frontiers of creativity that were previously unimaginable. So this is the future of creativity, something new which related to Gen AI. With the help of Gen AI, the interactive generative models will be developed. Multi-model generative will be developed. Controllable generation, we are going to apply GANs for simulation, and obviously we need to follow ethical AI and bias mitigation in all the stages throughout the life cycle of AI development process. So what are the reflections? If you are applying all those things, it will create a collaboration, it will increases the ethical consideration. We can reshape our cultural influence. Human AI interaction will be give the more prevalent in our day-to-day life for our betterment and unforeseen possibilities. So the generative AI will be used in different application landscapes. So these are all the companies. The first one, the text-related companies, how they are used in GAN. Second one will be the video-related companies. The third one will be the image-related companies. The next one will be the code related companies. The last two it's related to by using GAN, how they are developing a speech, 3D animations, then others. Then how Gen AI, what kind of companies are involved in the development of Gen AI in different layers? The infrastructures, if it is a cloud chips, not these kind of companies, Nvidia and Samsung, they are developing a chips. They want to Gen AI based cloud, Google platform, Amazon, used. Then foundational models is applications, industry, it's maybe a fashion industry, finance industry, telecommunication industry, film, music, radio, games, every industry they are using. Countries, almost every countries they're using the Gen AI based application. And this is the generative AI application landscape. So if it is a text, what kind of application layers are used? What kind of models is developed? In the application layer, the text-based application is used for note writing, general writing, sales, marketing. The relevant applications are developed OpenAI, DeepMind AI, Facebook, OPT, huge like this. You take it as a code. If you are I think most of our computer science, if you want to do a code generator, the code generator, code documentation, text to SQL, web application building, for this related to AI-based model, OpenAI GPT-3 will support, Tab9 will be support, Stability.ai will help. Then image generation, speech generation, video generation, 3D, others. So all those things is there. This is a general view of how GA generative AI application will be. The landscape will be projected in application layer and model layer. This is the emerging LLM application stack. Just having a four main fundamental region. One will be the contextual data, how it will be providing. The second one, how the prompts and few charts will be created. Third one, how the query will be submitted to the users, how the output will be returned from the users to from the machines to the users. This is the overall picture will give how the emerging LLM abstracts will be working. The last one where I'm going to stop this session will be, while you are developing any model, it has to follow two main things. One will be the blue ocean, another one will be the moonshot. Moonshot is nothing but if you want to develop anything, it should be more innovative. Blue ocean means normally we'll have two types of the segments is there in a business: blue ocean and red ocean. Red ocean means if you are doing a business regularly, what other people are doing the same thing. Blue ocean means the business will have a lot of innovative. That's the example. It's having a lot of startup ideas. So, as a student, if you are having more, I am interested towards to AI application development. Now, you should follow these two principles. So, your choosing era should be like blue ocean. With the help of n number of moonshots only, we can create one blue ocean. So with this, I'll conclude my session. If you have any doubts, you can leave your messages in the chat box. So I'm ready to refine, help to mitigate, to clarify your doubt.
Yes, participants, any queries you people have, please post it in the chat box so that ma'am can clarify your doubts. Excuse me. Participants, do you have any queries? Good evening. I think Kari Lavanya wants to ask a doubt.
Yes, tell me, ma, Lavanya.
No, I don't think. No, there are no doubts.
Okay, ma'am. No problem. If you have any doubts later on also, you just try to contact with Ashwin sir. Through Ashwin sir, I am ready to solve your uh, doubts. Okay. Thank you
Sure,
so
ma'am.
much. Thank you.
Yeah, so I extend my deepest gratitude to Dr. E. Suganya, ma'am, who is currently serving as an assistant professor in Department of Information Technology at SSN College of Engineering, Chennai, for delivering an illuminating talk on ethical AI challenges in technology implementation. Your insightful discourse shed light on the transformative impact of AI on society, offering profound perspectives on both its potential and ethical implications. You have given a big picture on touching the topics like AI ethics, how different companies follow AI ethics, what is Gen AI, its application across different sections, which industries as well as companies are using AI. So all that you have given us a very good idea and picture, ma'am. And we sincerely appreciate your time, expertise, and thought provoking insights that have enriched our understanding of this ever evolving domain. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, shall I conclude the session? Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you.
Suganya,
Thank you.
madam.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Priyanka, madam,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
the next resource person is already joined the meeting.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay, sir.
So,
Yeah. Hello, everyone. It's an honor to introduce Mr. Subhash Nair, a highly accomplished lead solution architect and engineering program management expert with over 21 years of expertise in multinational corporations. He has played a key role in shaping technology strategies and leading the architecture and deployment of consumer and enterprise software solutions for impactful business outcomes. Mr. Nair has held leadership positions in top global companies such as Bosch, Accenture, IBM, HP, Motorola, Saskin, and LG, contributing significantly in the areas like IoT, embedded and edge computing, cloud, data, and AI solutions. His expertise spans delivery, consulting, and technology commercialization, bridging the gap between research and real world applications. With a deep passion for technology, innovation, and startup ecosystems, he continues to drive transformative solutions that enable businesses to stay ahead in rapidly evolving tech landscape. Let's extend a warm welcome to Mr. Subhash Nair as he shares his invaluable insights with us today on the topic applications in data analytics and decision making. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, madam, for the nice introduction. I think I can start now, or we'll wait
Yes,
for
sir. You
few
can
minutes
start
to
the
be done.
session. Yes. Sir, are you presenting your screen? Yeah.
Yeah, I just started presenting. Yeah,
Yes, sir. We can see your screen now. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, sure.
We can see your screen now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, hello. Good evening, all. So, my name is Subhash. So, I would like to take a short session on application in data analytics and decision making. I am part of the industry, so I would like to take this session on a more industry perspective, and like how it is evolving evolving in the industry, as well as how it has been evolved for the last 10-20 years to this stage. So the agenda I would like to cover is like this, like of course we know that data is the primordial building blocks of all what we have seen today with AI and data analytics. So we will start with why data is so important, and what are the data integration challenges to make a data so that AI algorithm can capture it and train it and make use of it. So our talk today will be centered more around what is data and how data could be used or pipeline to the storage uh, industrial purposes, right? So I would also cover some case studies from different industries, like some hand-picked industry like energy and utilities, or manufacturing, agri, and healthcare. And we would end the section through some case studies. So as we know, we call data is the new oil, because data is the primordial building block of all what we see with AI and ML today. So no matter what companies are looking to, like maybe optimizing their supply chain, increasing their customer engagement. So what not everything is associated with the data. So data is what fuels that insight and action. So organization with a strong analytics culture, are twice as likely to exceed in their business goals compared to those who do not have a data-driven organization. So according to IDC, it is like an organization which make use of data, which is a data-driven organization, will be at least twice productive compared to their immediate peers. So benefits of data analytics in executive decision making, like see, who are the consumers of all these data analytics driven things are the business executive who want to take data driven decisions in their organization. So empowered with the data, executive can lead their organization toward a sustainable growth and innovation compared to take a manual decision which was done earlier. Like so, with the help of data, with the help of data analytics, like business executive can take a faster decision making, and their decision will be more accurate because it is backed by data. And you can also have a proactive problem solving than a reactive problem solving, because you would make use of AI model to make certain decision on your behalf. So at the end of the day, you have a competitive edge in the industry because you are assisted with the AI and data analytics in your achieving your business goals, right? Actually, the data-driven decision making is not something new. At least 4 decades back only, there is something called management information system. That was placed across industries. The management information system is nothing but which helps the organization to take management decision through with the help of the data. So we know the historically the relational database is one of the important data storage application that was ruling in the industry, and even now relational database is important, but we will discuss how some other databases are also important for achieving the AI and data analytics. But however, earlier the system working like there is a management information system relational database which is actually managed by a role called a database administrator. Then above that, through SQL queries, a data analyst make reports and the business analyst present this to the end user for the decision making. So As of now, there is a little bit change in how this is happening because data is not actually a relational nature as of now. Data has changed from a typical relational nature to non-relational nature. I mean, it can be text, video, voice, anything. So all these different kinds of data constitute towards the organizational business decision making. So you have to have a mechanism on how to capture all this data and store it and make use of it for decision making. Right. So earlier, what I meant was the relational database, something it was called as data warehouse. Now there's a terminology called data lake, where there is a gradual evolution to store all kind of data, whether it is relational, non-relational, whether it is logs, whether it is text, voice, everything. So organization will make use of this data lake infrastructure initially to store data, and it will act as a single unified truth for the organization for any form of the data. And from this data, they will try to make use of how to build a value-added business decision from this data lake. So there is a gradual shift from a data warehouse to a data lake. There is a gradual shift from a typical relational database nature to a data non-relational and I mean any form of data. So this is a gradual shift happening in the industry. Even though we have a separate terminology or separate thing called a data warehouse and a data lake, there are some companies which are trying to make to bridge this gap. Like it's kind of overlapping now. Like a data warehouse could be a data lake as well as a data lake could be a data warehouse. It's not a strict that you need to have a separate thing. Like, but always remember, data warehouse is a relational database. Data lake is not a relational database in nature. Right? So a modern architecture, data architecture, always will have a both of forms: a relational data warehouse and a non-relational data lake. So what would be the benefits of a data lake? Basically, data lakes eliminate the data silos, like we already discussed it. It would act as a single unified truth of all information. All the data in an organization will flow to the data lake, and it will act as a central repository for all data. So that's why it is called data lake. So it eliminates data. And also when the data is centered around it, a single source of truth called data lake, it improves the data governance because data is something that's the backbone of the industry as of now. So there should be a governing mechanism around data, and data also should be secure, and it will have a governing mechanism. So no predefined schema means it is not there is a stricter schema around the data lake like a relational database. It can have any schema. There is no schema at all. So it is flexible storage like logs, CSV, barcode, XML, anything you can store, and it is a cost-effective way. So in fact, there are many storage companies, including the cloud companies like an Amazon, Google, Microsoft, which you call the cloud providers, are all offering services to capture this ecosystem. They are offering reliable data lakes, which companies or organization make use of to store their data. Eventually, there is a very important role for a data analyst in any company, right? Or any organization. So what is actually this data analyst mean? It is actually different thing for different people. So let us try to understand what is expected out of a data. So the term data analyst refers to the process which a large amount of raw data is reviewed to determine conclusion based on the data. Like he have a raw data in front of him, he has to make a conclusion out of it. So, but there is a problem associated with the data analyst in fulfilling his role. Like he is in search of data, right? Where is the data? How do I get the data? Is the data reliable at all? What is the context? The data should have a context. Data should be reliable, right? And there should be a way for him to get the data. Like we already discussed, data like organization will make use, all the data will be centered around that lake, but there's a way for him to extract the data and do the data analysis. So data have a life cycle. Okay? That every data has an origin. It either it originates from somewhere. It could be from a web click, it could be from a browser, it could be from an IoT sensor, it could be from another data source. So data has an origin always. And from the origin, it has to travel towards a data storage system where in between there are a lot of flows, lot of paths. I mean, so from the data, you need to have a data pipeline. We call it when data is going through a data pipeline to an eventual destination. We call that data is in motion, right? So data will go through 8 computing systems, then it will go to a communication network. It will go through different servers before eventually reaching to a data storage like a data lake or data warehouse. So after the data is in motion, eventually it reaches a data lake where we tell data is at rest. At this stage, data is not moving. It is available for analysis, right? So data lake. So, but can it is not possible because data is in different formats. So you have to transform the data because to analyze the data, the most of the analytic software are SQL in nature. So you have to again convert back to an SQL part. So data warehouse are basically big SQL databases, right? So once data in the rest, it will be transformed. It will be extracted from this data at rest. It like a Power BI or a AWS QuickSight. There are many industry tools. They will use that to visualize and take a data-driven decisions, right? Now, is not actually data science. Data analyze information, right? So when the data in rest, you either there is a data science process where you make use of the data, apply certain algorithms, and make use of the models, and put to the model for operations. It called MLOps, which will come later. So what I mean is data have an intense life cycle, and in each of these life cycle, there are $1 million companies working. Right, there are certain companies which concentrate here. Data has like in the origin space, basically the IoT companies. There are companies which works in pipeline part, something called a real-time data processing part. There are companies working in data at rest part, offering the data lake storage, basically storage system, data lake storage. There are companies working in data warehouse system. So it is not a single person play. It's an ecosystem play, basically. So in short, what is happening is something is getting connected. It is getting stored. Somebody is analyzing it. So it's a connect, store, analyze part. Just because this is ecosystem play, there are different roles involved in it. From my previous DBA role, industry also have evolved to adopt new roles, software engineer roles, like a data engineer, somebody is a data analyst, somebody is a data scientist, somebody is a MLOps engineer. So even though these are all roles are related to a data analyst, their roles are a little bit separate. Even though it overlaps somewhere, but it is separate roles, and every people have to play their own role to accomplish a data-driven ecosystem in an organization. So whenever an enterprise or a large organization decide to be a data-driven organization, they want to implement something called enterprise AI, like AI in enterprise. So it is not a siloed process. Like a single team cannot take that decision, right? So it is they should to establish their enterprise AI journey. So as we already discussed, data should go into something called a data warehouse, right? Which we discussed in the previous slide. So when a data warehouse, it would move to vice versa, data from the data lake, data warehouse. So this process every organization will do, right? So fabric is nothing but the process of organizing the data from the different origins, from the different data silos to a single data warehouse or a single data lake, analytics or a data science on top of the data. So if you understand here what there is a data warehouse. So data marts is again a subset of data warehouse. Like certain times you should have a specific, for example, maybe data. This data mart belongs to a sales organization where they can understand what is the sales process. This data mart maybe organization or finance organization. This could be a purchasing department. So every department have their own needs to analyze the data, right? So instead of making a data warehouse, on top of data warehouse, you can make a specific data mart specific to that department. Basically, we'll go for the data warehouse and data mart architecture. Data mart or something called loco tools. It is not a programmatic tools like science background, UV, sort of Python framework, etc. to plot graphics. It's a not programmatic tool. We call it loco platforms, which is nothing but intelligent SQL client, which connect to a database server and access the data and report it. Right? So so to summarize, an enterprise data fabric is nothing but it need an enterprise data integration, breaking data silos from multiple organizations to a single data lake. It will have IoT and edge computing because even data origin can come from an IoT system or edge computing systems. So you have to unify sensors data from different devices. While data is flowing from this IoT system to the data lake or data warehouse, while data is in motion only, you have to do certain analytics. We call it a real-time analytics. And eventually, when data is at the data lake, whenever you analyze it, we call it a batch analytics. So we'll see in the slides how organization approach all this segment. So let us understand what is a data processing pipeline. Like I mean, from data is moving from the origin to the destination. It have a path called a cold path and warm path. Basically, this terminology is used by Microsoft very much. Like what is the warm path of the data and what's the cold path of the data. So it's also called basically. So if you analyze this diagram, there's a summary of whatever we are discussing. You have sensors, different kind of sensors. Sensors is something which continuously sending data through a streaming. So this data is moving. These are all database system which is already existing in the company. Like there is a payment system, there's order management system. So all this data, silo database, different application merged, contextualized, and put it in a database. Then only you can make a organizational driven model. To train a model, you need a huge amount of data. It is unlike a chat GPT and all, which train themselves from internet data. An organization cannot take data from internet and train it. So its data source is only whatever data is available inside the company, their application systems, their database system, right? So data have always two paths. One is a real-time path, one is a batch path, which is historical databases. So once you merge that into a centralized data warehouse that is available for analytics, you can apply analytics algorithms and users, the different department, different end users can access it for a data-driven decisions. So to summarize, like I say, capture, you are capturing from somewhere, you are queuing it. then you have to join it, then you have to store it in a data storage, right? Then you have to transform it, and for the database, for the training, you have to basically split into a training data set and test data set, and you eventually build a model. Right, so this you could assume as your data warehouse. This is your data lake. So you build the model, but the model building is only one part of it. Only if you put the model into the business system, something called operations, then only it is useful for the organization, right? So you have to deploy the model for something called as inference. So you can either deploy it in the cloud systems or in the edge system or in devices, right? So this is called a cloud inference, edge inference, on-device inference. So these all areas are key areas where organizations are keenly doing research, right? Because the model placement is very important in terms of certain applications are latency intensive. So like examples, a car, a connected car, etc. So if it has to do decision making, the model should be very near to the car. So in that case, you have to deploy the model inside the vehicle's computing system or somewhere nearby, which is called a computing system. Or if it is typical normal enterprise system where latency is not required, the inference could be done in cloud as well. Right? So the same thing the frameworks available to do this. It's the same thing, but when it's mapped to a different software framework, because it's the industrial sensors. Right? So this is, we call it a source. Now you will have you will also should need a storage at the edge level, because for the edge to cloud internet is not reliable. So companies will rely on temporarily storing the data to an edge system before eventually transferring to cloud system. Right? Now when the data is in motion, we already discussed there should be real-time stream processing. The stream processing will happen which will do the real-time stream process. You have to store in a data lake. So something like HDFS Hadoop file system is for early 6 years back. The Hadoop file system was used as a big data storage, which was consumed cloud storages like AWS X3 is, which is if I speak, there are many cloud providers like AWS, Azure, Microsoft Azure, and Google. But in this talk, I'm basically speaking with the AWS. It could be instead of Hadoop, it is AWS Azure storage, which could be storage. Certain algorithm making it faster storage. So HPC high performance storage. Above that, you will run your deep learning algorithms with a framework like TensorFlow, Keras, etc. You will build the models. Once you build the model, as we already discussed, you have to deploy somewhere, either at the cloud level or at the edge level, so that the inference can be done. Inference is nothing but a kind of decision. Is a decision making. You're asking the machine to make a decision on your behalf through something called a machine learning inference. Now, all this context we discussed, there is something called a batch processing. There is a real-time processing. Batch is nothing but moving a historical data from one place to other. it is not originated like a census. So batch processing, like for example, a payroll processing. Payroll should be processed at the end of the month. So certain data, there is no point in moving this data from this payroll database to the data like each and every day or each and every month. It is once in a while. So we just have to understand or do what is the business requirement, how often you have to transfer from one system to other. This is basically called extract transfer load uh, in the in the organization. Like it's a, one of the major area where people of data background works. Basically, you will encounter something called ATL in organization. Right? So ATL is the note extract from one place, transform in a way that is useful for an algorithm or a application, because data could be any form. It should be transformed so that the analytic application can use it, right? And eventually load. So extracting, transferring, loading. So this is a very important thing to achieve your data analytics and decision making roles. There's a open source tool called Apache Airflow, which is nothing but a cron job plus a scheduler technically. So this is extensively used by organizations. This is open source. There are many commercial tools, but Apache Airflow is also open source tool, which is of course somewhat free, which you could lift data from one database to other. Right here, say Amazon RDS, Amazon DynamoDB, or any Oracle or any database. Just extract through your script on this Apache Airflow. It will load into cloud storage. On top of this, you can do the analytics. So this is one of the important job of a data engineer, right? So in computer science, it's very important to understand what is the directed acyclic graph. So the entire Apache Airflow is built on a directed acyclic graph concepts. Now the stream processing is little different from that. Stream is something continuously getting, right? There is a kind of a sensor, web clicks. Suppose you're browsing or clicking something in your browser, all this are continuously happening. So that should be continuously processed also, right? So what is stream processing? Stream processing in computer science is nothing but it's a programming paradigm where sequence of events and time as a central input and output. So it is a time based. It's event based. It's event streaming. Stream processing is a data management technique that involves ingesting a continuous data stream to quickly analyze, filter, transform, or enhance the data. Applications are now it is nothing but a real-time processing. It is not even the batch processing cases can be achieved only if you address the real-time stream processing. So how we do the real-time stream processing? What are the computational things involved, technical things involved in this? We'll see in the next slides. So the stream processing architecture is basically a publish subscribe architecture. Like if it's your HTTP, there's a client and server, but this is a publish subscribe architecture. Definitely you would have heard about many other public subscriber systems like AM as a queuing system. So this message broker in the streaming architecture also is a kind of a queuing system, but it is not exactly a queue. It is called a broker. The application can just publish it, forget it, and the consumer application take it and process it, and then eventually load into a data warehousing system or a data lake system. So let us analyze what is one of the most important message broker in the market. Uh, is interested in open source. The many companies are using Apache Kafka to make this. So Apache Kafka started as a project, open source project, to build a scalable, fault tolerant streaming platform. So scalable and fault tolerance is a foundational, it's a very important thing in computer science, how to do a fault tolerant system. So means it can never fail. So you should implement fault tolerance in the Kafka broker system. It is done through multiple server. We call it a cluster of system. It's not a single server, right? So Kafka normally will not fail because a cluster. There is something called topic which you can publish, and consumer will just subscribe for that topic so that it get the data, it can load it over this. So as we told, it cannot be a client server system because there's nothing on HTTP post from source to destination. You should have a queuing system, right? So Kafka is much more than a queuing system. It's a cluster of servers which will provide you a fault tolerance system to design your real-time streaming platforms to build the data analytics applications. So now, as I already told, there are many companies which take this open source system, right? Like I say, if the Linux was an open source, Red Hat Linux is a commercial system, right? Similarly, when an organization cannot adopt an open source system as such because of many security vulnerabilities, because of lack of technical support system, so large organizations always rely on certain companies which take their open source software and give them a commercial version of it. So the Confluent and Databricks are two very important companies which make a big traction in this real-time analytics market, and they're growing and growing because if every organization, just like tell me an example, just because there is a big need for AML, the NVIDIA company is growing because their GPU is in demand. Similarly, to build this needed, so there should be some company which provide you that kind of. The moment you're inputting something, you're thinking 2 times, 3 times, they will understand the pattern how you're inputting your pins. They will take a real-time decision that whether to block him or not. Right? So that's a important application of real-time data analytics in the banking softwares. So the underlying technology ecosystem is nothing but there will be something like a Kafka there, and there will be a real-time this particular block which do that. After they're doing it, they will also log into the data like storage so that later they can analyze it, what happened, etc. The banking executive, or they need how many people have done fraudulent transactions, or whether it was actually a fraudulent transaction or they really forgot his password, etc. Right. So all this decision. So it is not it is not a standalone system. So there are a lot of system involved like this when you do a ATM transaction. As of now, it became a data-driven system for a bank. Now let us come to some other important, one more important data analysis, which is time series data. Time series is a sequence. Time series is a sequence of data point recorded at equal time intervals. So there are specific databases now to store the time series data. Time series data means the first class citizen in the database. The primary key is the time. So means let's take an example of healthcare data. Suppose a doctor wanted to give you a wearable device where he get your temperature morning and evening. So the data is supposed to send only morning and evening. It is time based, right? It's not a continuously streaming data. So that is just an example. So there are many scenarios in industry where you need a time series data, like a machinery performance you have to analyze. So what an organization or people do, they will take certain vibration or sound data from machine every 10 minutes or every 1 second, etc. Right. So based on the vibration and sound, you can analyze. But this data is a time series data because it is based on time. So for the time series analysis, there is a separate tech stack that is evolved in the market, something called InfluxDB and Grafana. Grafana is a visualization tool. InfluxDB is a time series database. Right. In this diagram, you can also see like an MQTT broker, which in IoT system is sending data to something like Telegraph. This is also a software system, open source, something like Kafka. It put data into InfluxDB. After that, people can analyze it. So this is a tech stack. InfluxDB, Grafana always go together for analyzing the time series data. Another example of time series data is there is a role called a site reliability or DevOps engineer, which makes whenever you're accessing a website, the website host or website owner, like an Amazon or a Flipkart or anybody, have to make sure that that system is always available. Right? It cannot happen like in, I don't know, 5 to 10 years back. If you have tried to book tickets in the IRTC system, when multiple in the railway booking, I mean, when multiple people are accessing, system always go down, right? So now I think they improved on it. Basically, they would have made some data-driven ecosystem behind the application, something like suppose you can imagine this is your IRTC website. Basically, this is your website. Now they will also pass currently accessing or how many people accessing to Elasticsearch database. And Kibana is a software, is a visualization called ELK stack. So log stash is a something which will fetch the log from the server and push to Elasticsearch. And Kibana is something visualize. So ELK stack is a software which is a one of the backbone system, you can say, of the time series database analysis. Right. So it works. It's always a combined stack, like a log stash, Elasticsearch. Kibana you can use to build many there's no programming, not just a low code, no code system. You call it is just an integration of different components. It's also a free softwares. Now let us come to some tools. Means basically, you know, Google hyperscalers, they operate large data centers and give you the data centers through web services. Right? So that's how we could access servers remotely. And infrastructure vendors, like they will give you servers or storage. Now, but they're slowly transitioning into they also provide a lot of tools and software for data analytics because that is the future, right? So they will also move the business accordingly. So, like say, suppose an e-commerce website, you just opened and you are just browsing through. So whenever you do something, your click or your ID card is going to a background system, which is collecting. That's why after sometimes you may see in the social media feeds that promoting their website or promoting their products, or even certain times you'll get a mail that whoever bought this product also bought so and so product, right? So all this because somebody is some agent is watching or some software is watching whatever you do in your browser. So in the background, some server like let us take an example of Logstash ELK stack only. They just collect it, they analyze it, and then machine learning algorithm analyze it what similar bias brought it, and they will give you as a feed in your social media website, etc. Right? So that's how an analytics system give an e-commerce company or any other attraction in the market. They are trying to understand your whatever you do and analyze your patterns, behavior, or match people similar to you what they bought so that they can recommend you. So fundamentally, it come to a recommendation system eventually. All the data will go to a data lake or data lake or in storage. They'll build a recommendation system on top of it and recommend you. So to build the recommendation system, all these data pipelines are involved. If you are using a Amazon cloud, or you can use any cloud, but if you use Amazon cloud, you need not are available as managed. You don't have to develop anything from the scratch. Everything is available as a managed service or a software as a service for you from the cloud provider. Only thing is that you have to pay for this service. So also, what is a data warehouse, which we already discussed? There are many companies like Snowflakes or Oracle, etc., which build data warehouse, which you have to buy your organization. We call it as a one-time payment, but there is a recurring payment. You can instead of the one-time payment, you can make a recurring payment through Amazon Redshift. Like you can just pay as you go. So many organizations prefer Amazon Redshift or equivalent one in the Microsoft is I think Cosmos DB or in Google it is Bigtable, I think. So everywhere because there's no need of a capital investment to buy a data warehouse to do your data analysis. You can just leverage Amazon Redshift and go for a pay you as model. Pay you as you go model. Basically, for me, it's a capital investment to operational capital expenditure to operational expenditure. CapEx to OPEX. Okay, now this is previously we were discussing about the data warehouse and analytics application. Now the model building, there is another service called Amazon SageMaker, which come with the computational part of it, ID, integrated development environment, and the inbuilt algorithms, like all your TensorFlow, Keras, etc. All available frameworks available in Amazon SageMaker. They will provide you an integrated development environment to build your model. and they will build you a connectivity to your data storage system. So it's an accelerator to build your models, right? So people use basically Amazon SageMaker to build their models and deploy it if they work with Amazon Cloud. Coming to the application part of it, so far we are discussing the foundational aspect of it, which is the pipelining of data, right? We have to take data from the source to destination, then only you can analyze it, right? Now, suppose we are taking it and stored in a data warehouse. Let's see how AI will make use of the data and build applications. All this while we were discussing how artificial intelligence is made, why the data is the backbone of it, right? Now if the artificial intelligence is inducing intelligence to machines through machine learning algorithms, right? So there are the two aspects of it. One is machine learning, one is deep learning. Deep learning is little deeper learning, like neural network. Machine learning is you don't need that much computation power, but both are important in their own use cases. Let us touch upon, even though this session is mostly on applications, let us touch upon the learning part. Like, there are supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforced learning, which is a These are very basics of AML trainings, right? To do this, but let us go to the application part of it. So in application, one of the most used part is something like predictive analytics. So predictive analytics is an area of data mining that deal with the extracting information from data and using it to predict something in the future. When it's predict, then it is predict. It is always the machine is doing for you. No? There is a AML for it. When you have to report or analyze, there is no intelligence needed for the machine. When you ask the machine to predict it, you have to build the intelligence to the machine to the AML models. So how we will build that AML models to predict something, right? So there are two aspects of it. You can descriptive analytics and a predictive. Descriptive analytics is just describe the data. There's nothing to predict there. There is a lot of data available. You just you can use your own frame. There are different tools, like you can use a Python framework like a Panda to analyze it, or if you're not a programmer, you can use tools, MATLABs, or all these tools are much available to analyze. But analyzing is not a machine learning. Analyzing means you're self analyzing, right? So machine learning means you have to build the model and embed the model to machine so that machine become intelligent, right? So descriptive to predictive is a natural transformation of the industry, right? As of now, or previously they were just doing descriptive analytics. They have to move to predictive analytics with the help of AMLs. So let's see how written industries are taking it. So manufacturing industry is one of the most low-hanging fruit for every organization to target, because manufacturing industry is the one which is extensively implementing AML in the organizations. As we see, we are now in the era of fourth industrial revolution. We are called it Industry 4.0. So industry revolved from industry 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the third industrial revolution only, there were computers. Computers were in place in the factories. Right? We already discussed the first form of decision making was management information systems, which was nothing but a database and a reporting system. That was there at least 30-40 years back in factory. Now in the fourth industrial revolution, what is important is data. Every decision, every machine, everything connected through sensors. The system was manual. They are not a big organization, very small organization. So what they did was, they did certain implementation related to data to make that good versus bad sorting automatic from manual. So if you see, let's assume this is a conveyor belt. So this robot or cobot just take this and show this to this camera. So they acquire that image. The image is sent to this server at the gateway. At gateways, it is placed at the factory. That's why it is called edge. It could be cloud also. So there is a model running here, which is trained for understanding which is good or bad. So based on that, this model take a decision that the particular nut or bolt is faulty. So it will instruct this cobot accordingly. Put this like. So it will move to the bad product. It will go. It will move to the good products. So the system is very simple, but there are a lot of embedded ML algorithms in this. Right? So image acquisition happening, but it is delegating the inference part. I mean the decision part where distant server, which is nearby. That's why it is called edge computing systems. So edge computing do the ML inference. This model would have been developed by somewhere else in the cloud or somewhere else, but they distribute the model to the edge system. It's a kind of a distributed computing also. I mean, there will be different factory lights, so everybody will using their own edge servers. So it's a kind of a distributed computing system to detect the anomaly in the manufactured products, right? Now, one thing also, this particular machine or cobot or robot is continuously working, and it is calibrated for a certain parameters. So as the time progress, its calibration may drift. So there is another algorithm running here, which understand whether it drifts from the calibrated value, then actuate it back to the correct calibration. So this is also one of the AML model that is deployed in this server. Another model, time to failure prediction model, gives an insight about when the equipment or machine will fail by leveraging the historical and continuous data, so that maintenance can be scheduled. So that particular machine needed a maintenance, which was happening as periodic maintenance, like every once in a while, every month or every 2 months they will come and maintain it, which is a cost. So we have to go from a periodic maintenance to a reactive maintenance to a predictive maintenance. Reactive maintenance nothing but suppose there is a problem, then you go and correct it. But we have to eventually move to a predictive maintenance. Through a predictive maintenance model, that machine was always was repaired without any downtime. So what I mean is there were multiple models running in the edge. So this is where the NVIDIA, etc., or Intel certain products find its market, because this is a fast inference. The server need NVIDIA chips to do that inference. All right, that's why NVIDIA is have a great market share now. For doing inference, you need a NVIDIA chips. That's the stage as of now, at least now. This is another company. It's a very, very large organization which is making biscuits. So you could see a conveyor belt here where they are manufacturing the manufactured biscuits. Means uh, to remove good or bad. Another example is this oil and gas pipelines in remote areas, which is unmanned, etc. So the drones, as a edge computing system, drones as a sensor will be used to do this. So the drone will send data to a system where they will instead of manual intervention, they could understand whether there's any faulty, etc. in this through image analytics, the thermographic image analytics. This is a use case with the image analytics for the pipeline monitoring and leakage detection. So this is how industry adopted heavily. All these industries, how AML getting adopted in the very widely. Like I mean, even the small scale industry to large scale industry. If you come from manufacturing to another industry, like I say, energy and utility company, there was a problem with one of the company. They were running on conventional energy sources. They want to move to alternative energy sources, but the business was asked to take a decision whether to go with the conventional energy or whether to go with alternate energy. So business was not in a position to take a call. So eventually the management decided to take data-driven decisions. They built a data-driven system. Like as I told, it is not like taking some data from somewhere, Kaggle or somewhere, and do build the model. That is not the way how it works. They have to build the things from the scratch. So the first part of it is building the data pipeline, taking the data from the boiler, etc., which use that electricity, right? So all this, whatever we discussed about data pipeline is also in this diagram. Okay. Eventually it reaches a data lake. So they took a data-driven decision. Why alternative energy is consuming, making me save my cost less. So if I have if I use alternative energy, my operational expenditure is only X. If I use conventional electricity sources, my expense is less. So they recommended to the management that we should go with the alternative energy sources. So this is a typical recommendation system of AI, which this company made use of. So as you know, the end, all these technology blocks are the business want everything as a portal. The business consumer doesn't want to know what technology you are using, right? They want everything as a portal. So basically, this is a portal which we built on top of that database, where they decided that okay, we will go with the alternate source of energy in our factories. This also one more example. This is a water utility company. A typical water utility company, like they are paying a lot of money for the water leakage, maintenance, etc. So they send a field technician initially, where he started sending data. This is which is called Internet of Behavior. Like there is no census involved here. He collect the data and send to the data platform first, which is called a batch data, which is called. Then there is a sensor also. They put a meter or a glucometer. Now that is not a embedded company. That is embedded plus cloud company, because data is very inevitable for their survival as well as their market cap. So need a big data ecosystem, scalable storage, data integration. They have to integrate hospital management system. So I mean, they have to take the data from the patient, they have to take the data from the hospital sources, they have to contextualize it, merge it, then only they can do analysis, right? So basically, they used anomaly detection algorithms, personalized recommendation engines, predictive modelings, pattern recognition. All these models came into picture to make use of to implement these use cases. Uh, so there was a big business improvement or for them as well as for the patients, like improved disease management, personalized treatment plans, early detection of complications. All these are the benefits because of the data and analytics. One of the important applications of data analytics in the healthcare industry. Also, the kind of push the government or the world is giving to industry where there was not digitization at all, but now there are a lot of improvement how agriculture industry taking or helping farming ecosystems in making informed decisions. Different like a farmer want like crop patterns, market trends, etc. So they should have demand forecasting to forecast what would be the demand of their product, yield optimization, disease prediction. We'll use AI model in the agriculture industry. So this is the models like again telling this is only the top of the pyramid, but to do this, it all started from our initial pitch or initial slide where the data has origin, data has a pipeline, data has data in motion, data in rest, data in storage, finally it analyzed. So it doesn't happen like as I tell, just take some random data sets and build model. It has to go with the organization's own data. It has to go with the real data. Somebody, if you there is some data exchange forum or data exchange company which give a random data and you build a model, there were many problem when actually you put in productions, which will something called a model bias. A model bias is a machine learning and refers to systematic errors introduced by incorrect assumption in the learning algorithm. It can cause the model to consistently underperform or favor certain outcomes, leading to inaccurate. The gap between an academia and the industry is available. So there are a lot of forums or data of companies, I don't know, which give data. So data get built on top of that, and when it put in production, it underperform, underfits, overfits, whatever. So what I mean is it's not production ready. This kind of models. So if you build, you take your own data, it always perform in production as well better. So you should take an informed decision when you build models about the data quality. So the model bias and quality of data itself is how to avoid the bias, how to cleanse the data for this. So it's not cannot be told in one slide or one word. It itself is a very very big topic to research and study to avoid how to avoid this bias or etc. How to avoid underfitting or overfitting etc. Right now. Oh, if we come to a real case study, which I have written in this slide, like one of very very big major multinational involved with the Department of Justice and Correction System, right? Like prisoners who were in prison for a long time. So there should be a way based on their good behavior or contributions to causes. There has to be released. So it was happening as a manual decision, which was creating a lot of corruptions or system. So the government want to take a AI way to do that. The AI system should tell who could be released. That government, along with this multinational, implement an AI-driven system to decide which prisoner can be released based on their good behavior in the prison so far, right? 80-year-old African American man was among the person to be evaluated by the AI model. Drug offense, which was non-violent, which happened because he was the dangers of it, but he was in the prison. By all accounts, in terms of his behavior and participants in educational programs in the prison, he was a candidate for release. So everybody thought the AI will take a decision to release him. But what happened was the AI system decided he will not be released. This is the actual thing which happened because the AI had a bias. Just like a human being have a bias, like I say, a South Indian take idli more, a North Indian might not like idli or dosa. So these are all human biases, right? So all these human biases like this particular country have a bias towards certain section of the society that so so they use a very old historic data, at least 50 years back, to build this model. And that model had that the problem, they are high risk. If they release, they create problem. So this bias in the algorithm came against him. Outcry that the AI system basically failed here. Uh, Go back to the manual part. So what I mean is that the AI system is not a foolproof system. There are a lot of things to be improved. The data is very important part of it to build the model. A lot of trial and error. Right. Is the Let us come to the biggest growth across the world, across India, is nothing but the AI market. It is growing and growing. And I think all of the people from many background are supposed to know a little bit about AI or the AI tools like a ChatGPT because that is becoming part of their life, part of their work. Right. So also because of that, this industry, data-driven industry, also offers a lot of jobs. Like there are different roles. Earlier, I told it was a database administrator. Now it evolved into an ML scientist, ML engineer, NLP engineer, from solutions data engineer. So there are many roles. So the data scientist is not everything. Data scientist is who basically builds the building blocks of the data, like the data pipelines. The data analyst is nothing but who some tools once the data is available in the data warehouse or data analyst. Data scientist is the skill set is a little bit different. So statistics or whatever. He built the model across one team of data engineers, data analytics, ML architects, etc., to put that model in production. So skill in all this, even though there are many others who succeed in these roles. Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you were audible, but there was a little bit of voice break in the middle. Hello? Hello?
Now it
Hello?
was better
No,
for
sir,
a quite
there
long
is.
time. Voice break.
From past 10, 15. Okay, sir, okay. Continue, sir.
Subha sir, the screen is
You mean
visible,
it was
but
not audible for the last 10 minutes?
yeah, screen is visible, sir. But they are telling maybe your voice is not audible little bit. Yeah, continue, sir. Continue.
Okay, you mean, I think I am at the end of the slide now.
Yes, sir. You are audible. They are telling maybe your voice is breaking, maybe some point of time.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Continue, sir.
Yeah, now I am done, I think.
So sorry for the interruption. Continue, sir. Please.
So should I repeat? Means,
No need, sir. Actually, we will. If anyone has any queries, they can post it on the chat box. Audience.
okay, yeah. Either they can mail me to.
Sure, sir.
Yes, sir. Share your mail in that chat window, sir, so that they can send an email. If they have any queries, or else the participants, you can post your queries in the chat window. Resource person is available. He will take your queries. Okay, then he will ready to answer. Participants, do you have any queries? You can post your queries in the chat window, please. If there is no queries, okay, then Priyanka, madam. Yes, participants, you can post your queries in the chat window.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here. Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, madam, audible. If there is no queries, then we can conclude the session, madam.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
I think somebody have raised their hands.
No queries, sir?
I think there is no queries, madam.
Okay. Participants, I think a feedback form has been shared in the chat box. Kindly do fill that feedback form for today's session. And we'll be concluding our today's session, wherein I extend my profound gratitude to Mr. Subhash Nair, Lead Solution Architect and Engineering Program Management Expert from Bosch, Bangalore, who dealt on the topic of applications in data analytics and decision making. Your deep expertise and articulate elucidation of this transformative technology provided invaluable perspectives, enriching our understanding of its vast potential. We sincerely appreciate your time, effort, and intellectual generosity in sharing your knowledge with us, sir. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Subha sir. Spend your valuable time with us. Thank you.
Thank you all.
So
Thanks for attending. Bye.
as we come to the closing of this enriching session, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for your active participation and engagement. A special thanks to our esteemed speakers, Dr. E. Suganya and Mr. Subhash Nair, for sharing their invaluable expertise and thought-provoking insights. It has been a privilege to learn from such distinguished academicians and researchers. So we appreciate your time and commitment to continuous learning, and we look forward to your participation in tomorrow's sessions also. Thank you once again and have a wonderful evening. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Priyanka, somebody has raised the hand symbol. Just ask any queries.
Vijay, Nirmala, and Professor Divya Tyagi, ma'am. Yes, sir. And I think both of you have raised your hands.
Madam, ask them to post the queries in chat window, madam.
If
Yeah,
not, they can
we are waiting
email
for
it.
them.
Anyone is having queries already. Shara shared that email ID, or else send their queries to the email ID. Okay, they will get their reply. Or else now, okay, they can send their queries in chat window.
Yeah,
So
Vijay and Nirmala, ma'am. I think you can post your query.
queries in the chat window.
Yeah,
Please.
you have raised your hand, so please post it in the chat box, ma'am. On the feedback form, I think it is open, ma'am. You can always fill the form. Yeah, if everybody have filled the form, I think you can leave the meet also. Thank you once again, everyone. Good night.